Good afternoon. Welcome to this introduction to the study of geography through arts in Trinity. So I'm just going to take you through some of the key aspects of what it would be like to study geography here and the different ways in which you can do the degree. Now, first of all, just to say something about geography and how we conceive of geography and what makes it stand out as a discipline. And I think really the most distinctive element of geography as an academic discipline is that it's one of the very few disciplines that brings together the humanities, or what we might call loosely the arts, humanities and social sciences, and the natural sciences. So geographers at the undergraduate level are exposed to courses that come from the natural science tradition. So courses in geomorphology, climate, climate change, etc., but also courses and modules that deal with the humanities, culture, to deal with the social sciences, the study of society, and I would say loosely the study of arts, the study of culture, the study of civilization. And very few disciplines actually do this. Most academic disciplines at university level are firmly in the natural science camp or in the arts, humanities, or social sciences camp. I suppose archaeology would be another discipline that would bring them together, but we don't have archaeology here in Trinity. Anthropology would be another one. There's only one anthropology department in the whole country, and that's in Maynooth. So I think that geography as a discipline at the undergraduate level, I think is a particularly interesting subject to take. I obviously would. I'm a geographer. I've been a geographer since I was 17 in UCD, but I really do think it's a great undergraduate degree because you come out at the end of it literate in scientific methods, in social science methods, and also in methods to do with the study of culture and civilization. And also how those things interact, the way cultures are embedded in places, the way nature and culture interact, the way environment and society interact. And I think increasingly, as we go forward, I think that those sorts of interactions are absolutely going to be central to so many other concerns, to economic concerns and political concerns. So I really do think it's a great degree to take. As a subject, geography is one of the oldest of the academic disciplines. It's one of the academic disciplines that has the longest history. So geography as an identifiable subject goes right back to the 5th and 6th and even the 7th centuries BC in ancient Greece. And we find it developing as a subject then and is very clearly in place by the 5th century BC in Greece. And geography has always been there as part of intellectual life and part of educational life since that period. Now, it has changed very radically in the 20th century, but nonetheless its core concerns about how human groups occupy the earth and create patterns of landscape and patterns of regional differentiation, those core concerns are still there throughout most of geography. So it's a subject with a very rich heritage. And we try to bring out, in our geography degree, we try to bring out most aspects of that study of geography, that type of study of geography. I would say, now not everybody would agree with me, but I would say that geography is essentially about the study of how and why places differ. How and why places and regions differ and are the same. And that's what we're about. And in order to do that, geography has to draw on things to do with the environment. So it has to look at climate, it has to look at soils, it has to look at topography. It has to look at, we have people looking at soil geochemistry, so it has to know all of those things, but then it has to look at how people have occupied those environments and what sorts of patterns they generate then in terms of settlement, in terms of ethnic patterns, in terms of geopolitical patterns, all of these things that emerge from the human occupation of the earth. The ancient Greek geographers had a term which they called the oikoumene, which was the inhabited earth. And they said that geographers studied this inhabited earth. And in order to do that, in order to study the oikoumene, that geographers had to be skilled in things to do with the physical world and things to do with the human world as well. So I think that is the core thing I'd say about the study of geography. And the study of geography at university level and the study of geography here at Trinity. We definitely maintain it as a broad-based geography degree. So in the degree here, there is room for specialization, but we very much emphasize the fact that as a geographer here, if you come out of here as a geographer, that you will be grounded in those two different sorts of methods, and you'll be able to understand how to bring those together. There are different ways to go through the degree. So in TSM, so in the two subject, we have two blocks of going through it through arts. First of all, it's the two-subject moderatorship, which is the two-subject degree, two-subject honours degree. Being Trinity, of course, it has to have its own name for it, so it calls it a moderatorship rather than simply an honours degree. And you can also then do geography and politics, which is not part of TSM, but follows a very similar structure to TSM. But it's a separate entry. It's a separate code for entry. And in the two-subject degree, you're essentially picking geography and politics, geography and sociology, economics, maths, philosophy, German. These are the subjects that we combine with in TSM. Now, the reason why we combine with those and not some others is almost entirely to do with timetabling considerations, that we can't combine with all of the TSM subjects because it'd be impossible to timetable it. But I think that economics, sociology will dominate. I think, but I'm an historical geographer, so I think history and geography is an absolutely fantastic degree to do, and it used to be very popular, it's become less so. So you combine your geography with another subject. But there are different ways of doing that. So if you come into TSM and you follow what's called TSM Pattern A, you will do both subjects for the 4 years. So it's 50% of each subject for the 4 years. TSM Pattern B means that you do both subjects for 3 years, and then you specialize in one of them. In general, in geography, we tend to find most of our people opt for geography. You specialize in that for your final year. And you mix that up, I think it's 650 from your final year and 350 out of 1,000 in terms of your assessment for your final degree mark. We also have, complicate matters further, there's a Pattern C, which is if you want to go abroad in your 3rd year and you can't find courses in the university that you want to go to abroad for both of your subjects, you're allowed to take only one subject in the 3rd year, and then you come back and only do one subject for the final year as well. Geography politics tends to follow all of those same options are available in geography politics. There's another thing you can do in geography, which is if you're doing TSM geography and you get a minimum of a 2-2, and I would hope that all of you would be able to get over 50% at the end of your 2nd year exams. If you get a 2-2 at the end of 2nd year, you can transfer into our single honours geography course. So if you get to the end of 2nd year and you decide, I've had enough of this sociology, I've had enough of this economics, I just want to do geography, you can transfer into natural science, single honours geography. So they are your options, they are your pathways through the subject. And then within that then, what do we do? Well, as I said, I think there's one thing about Trinity is, I'm a UCD person in origin, and one of the things about Trinity is there has a very definite division between what we call the freshman years and the sophomore years. So the freshman years are your first 2 years, junior and senior freshman, and the sophomore years are 3rd and 4th year, junior and senior sophomore. And there's a distinction. The first 2 years, the freshman years, are usually big, huge survey courses where almost everything is compulsory, and you go in and you do these big survey courses, and we regard that as the essential grounding in the discipline of geography. And then in 3rd year and 4th year, you get to take more and more options. And of course, this will partly depend on which path you've chosen. Are you Pattern A? Are you Pattern B? Have you gone into single honours geography? That will, affect the level of choice that you have. So in the first 2 years then, we have, in the first year, we have essentially physical geography. So we have things such as climate change, climatology, earth processes and landforms, geomorphology, a more broadly based environmental change. We have big expertise in environmental change in the geography department here. So you will learn a lot about the basics of physical geography: climate, landscape, soils. And we have an exciting new development now. We have a new member of staff who came to us via NASA and Oxford and an institute in Colorado, and she's just taken up a position here, and she works on the physical geography of the planets. She's an expert on Mars, and I think this is going to be very exciting for the students. I wish I was taking some of the courses myself. She's going to work on the physical processes, landscapes, physical landscape of Mars and other planets. So I think we have a very good range of material there. In human geography, you will do a broad-based course in human geography, which will take into account cultural, economic geography, urbanization, a range of topics. And then we have a third element, which is the human-environment interaction, which we sometimes call environmental geography, and how these two things come together. And coming into this from the beginning, there's also some emphasis on what can be called environmental governance. So how do we manage the environment? And this is very much the interaction between the human world and the environmental world. So you do this. In second year, essentially, you do more of that, and you do it in more depth. So there's a definite progression in each year in terms of the difficulty of the material, in terms of the nature of your assessment. It all shifts as you move through. But also in second year, we have something which we found has worked out very successfully for us. And that is that, and it's really quite unusual for senior freshmen, for second year students, we have a whole 10-unit module where you effectively write a major essay, a 4,000 word essay. This really is unusual for second years. And you will be in a group where all of the group will be working on a subtopic of another major topic. And you'll be led by an expert who's researching in that field. And everybody goes off then and researches that topic. They present a bibliography, they present a progress report, they make an oral presentation, and then they write a 4,000 word essay. Now, I coordinate that module. I was quite nervous about it when we started it up. I said our second year is going to be able to do this. And what I found is they're more than able to do it, and they really relish the extra responsibility that comes with taking on a big topic like that and writing a really quite a long essay. And it's been a huge success, and they really like it, and it gives them a certain amount of intellectual independence and confidence coming out of the second year. In third year then, we have only one really compulsory module, which I take, which is the history and philosophy of geography, and this is designed to ground you in where the subject has come from, how it's developed over time, and also to teach you that all academic disciplines have to be contextualized in their time and place, that they don't present utterly objective knowledge, but what they do is shaped by their historical context. And then we have a range of options: coastal processes and management, economic geography, hydrology, urbanization, the origins of humanity. We now have options on the planets. We have a huge range of options which you get to choose from, which means you can effectively start either maintaining a mix of physical, human, and environmental geography, specializing in human geography, or specializing in physical geography. You can do what you want. You can make up your own program out of this. And that's the same for the final year, except the courses will be more advanced and the assessments will be different. And you have great courses such as historical geography, which is my courses in the final year, and environmental change, economy in the state, third world development, climate change. So you get to choose from a range of options there. And also, if you're doing pattern B, so if you're only doing geography, or you've transferred into natural science geography and you're just doing geography in your final year, you write a dissertation, this is where you shift from becoming simply a consumer of academic knowledge to becoming a producer. So you're expected there to engage with primary sources, either through fieldwork or say my people will work on historical documentary sources, and you're expected to do analysis of primary source material and integrate that then with the secondary literature to produce a dissertation. And we find that students find the dissertation extremely challenging, but they also find the dissertation very, very satisfying. And when you come out the other end, if you've got a really good dissertation, it's a great thing to be able to show to people recruiting into master's programs or to employers, certain types of employers. Say, look, that's the sort of thing I can do. You know, a 10,000 piece of work based on original research. That's a great thing to have. It's traditionally been a really core part of the geography degree. We also then have, as you go through this degree, we have opportunities for people to study abroad, mostly through the Erasmus program. So we've got partnerships with Stockholm, Prague, Bordeaux, the Sorbonne in Paris, and Exeter in the UK. And we're about to establish relationships with the von Humboldt University in Berlin, which is one of the biggest and best geography departments in the world. And we've just been asked to establish a partnership with 2 universities in Slovakia. I would love to establish a relationship with a university in Spain, but it's proving quite difficult to actually do. But there are various opportunities to take your 3rd year abroad. And you go away there, and we take, whatever you do there, we take back as credit for what you would have done here. That's the way that the system works. You can go for half a year or a year. I coordinate this program. I strongly recommend that people go for a year rather than a half a year. And this is a very exciting thing. Now, you have to be well prepared for it. I think sometimes the Erasmus program, I only let students go on the Erasmus program if I know that they're really well prepared, if they've shown themselves to be well organized, to be coping with the work they're getting, because there's a big extra challenge to going away, particularly to a university where you're working in a foreign language. But most of the students that do go on the Erasmus program really get a huge amount out of it, and it's a great development for them academically and personally. So I think it's something that everybody should give very serious consideration to. And in terms of your CVs going into the future, there's nothing like being able to say I have an honours degree from Trinity College Dublin, but I also spent a year in Berlin, or I spent a year in Stockholm. It shows that you had the ability to go out there, cope with the changed circumstances, deal with a different environment, and do it successfully. So I would strongly encourage all the students to consider it. Not that they all get to go, because we've quite limited places on those Erasmus programs, so it's a competitive process. And unfortunately, I have to disappoint people about I tried to get everybody away, but it's not always possible. The final thing just to say is we're doing a geography degree, and as I say, broad-based geography degree, but allowing for specialization. The final thing to say, central to geography is fieldwork. I'm an historical geographer, so going out, looking at things in the field, measuring things in the field, doing recordings. For most of my colleagues in physical geography, it's absolutely essential. You have to get out there and map the landscape. You take cores through bogs and look at pollen records and do things like that. So we have field work most of the way through the degree. We have a 3rd year one. So most of the field work is associated with individual modules. But we also have a compulsory field trip which you take as you rise into 3rd year. So in between 2nd year and 3rd year, usually in September. For the last 7 years, we've gone to Mallorca, which has been a great success, a fantastic little island for doing field work, and the students obviously like it at night time as well, although we go to a relatively quiet part of Mallorca to do it. But so we have that, and that's a great, almost like a bonding exercise as well for the students going into 3rd year, and it's a great sort of start to the junior sophistry year. But then other modules will have field work associated with them. It's a core part of our degree. So that's what we offer. I think it's a very sort of interesting course to follow. Humanities and natural sciences and social sciences and the arts, and a broad-based degree which allows for specialization. Okay, any questions? No questions then? You can find out further information, of course, on our website. We've got a nice website, and you can get in there and have a look. And also you can contact us if you need further information, and we'll be at the stand here in the Hamilton and also up in the dining hall, because geography, as well as taking in TSM people, we also take in people through the science degree, and they follow a different path through geography. So we're here in the Hamilton and we're up in the dining hall, and you can contact us at any time, and you can look at the website as well. Thank you.
Your historical geography?
That's right, yes.
Well, I'm studying English history and geography at the moment, but I'm studying transferring next year. Just wondering, is geography and history like a very good degree to do here? Or it is?
Superb history department. We're both actually, I don't want to be bragging, but people do this now. History and geography are both ranked top 50 in the world in the QS rankings, subject rankings. And therefore, you're getting two sort of top flight departments, and I obviously think the two subjects are, but I mean, I really do think it's a superb degree to do. And it's a challenge.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really enjoying doing it now. Just
I mean, what you get sometimes with TSM, what you sometimes get is that the two halves add up to more than one. So, but I mean, if you're into it, that doesn't matter. If you like the stuff, I always say that doesn't matter. So,
thank you.
So you're going to try for accelerated entry, are you?
What is that exactly? Does that just go straight to second year? Or?
You can get accelerated entry into Trinity.
Which is?
That you could apply, say, look, I've done a year in Renew, can I come straight into second year?
Yeah, I've heard about that. I need the points from last year, don't I think.
Yes, probably, and then they also make an assessment. So it's a separate process, I think.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Sorry, I just found this on the...
Oh my God.
It's on my desk.
I was just wondering, what's the difference in emphasis between the courses in Trinity and UCD? Like, is there the emphasis on?
I think we would be similar enough in the sense that we're both broad-based geography degrees, so we try to go across the board. I think geography here is in the science faculty, and I think that does make a little bit of difference. And I think one of the things that would make it stand out is we have a particular strength in environmental change. So we have quite a few people who work on environmental change, so environmental stuff and climate change and vegetation change and that sort of stuff. So we do have a particular strength in that. And after that, I'd say on the undergraduate level, we would both be trying to present fairly broad-based. So I'd say probably more on the physical geography here, but we're still quite a balanced section.
Okay, thank you.
And the other big difference, because I lectured in UCD, and I was a student there, and I was a PhD student there. The other big difference is 4-year degree here, which I think is a massive difference, because you'll be in 18, 19 or something like that.
18,
a lot happens over that 4 years, and I think the extra year, I see students sometimes going along at a certain level, and they get to 4th year, and they just take off. Whereas in UCD, you have to be geared up at all times.